What is going on, everybody? I'm Jackson.
And I'm Tristan. And this is an evening cup coming at you with Western Reserve Distillers 14-15 straight bourbon whiskey coming out of, Lakewood, Ohio.
It's over by Cleveland.
Yep. Barrel number 76, bottle number 63. That is the serial code for this bourbon. Once again, we got this suggestion from Bob. So I want to thank you for all of your service with us as you move on to the east side of the state. So hopefully we can get some more good suggestions coming in from our new sales rep. But thank you, Bob. Appreciate you.
So this is a 14-year barrel bourbon bottle right here. I believe Bob told us that this had just recently won an award.
Yeah.
And it retails for $99.95.
So about $100 coming out at you on the shelves. It's 14 years. It's award winning, I guess. So I guess it's kind of to be expected that it's going to be a little bit more of a premium price.
And it's a 14 years. So that means they aged it for 14 years before they bottled it.
Yeah.
And so
tell us a little bit about that process.
So once it's bottled, it no longer ages. So it doesn't matter how long it sits in a bottle. So this aged in the bourbon barrels for 14 years. And I believe they intermittently check on it to make sure the quality is good and all that stuff. And then they pull it out and bottle it.
Yeah. So give you a little bit of a background on Western Reserve Distillers. They're family-owned and operated organic craft distillery founded in 2014, which, remember that year, we are proud to be producing an award-winning world-class spirit in Lakewood, Ohio, just a few miles west of downtown Cleveland, as Ohio's first and only USDA certified organic craft distillery. Western Reserve Distillers distills vodkas, gins, and some bourbons, some whiskeys. And like I said, they're using 100% organic grains from the Twin Parks Organic Farm, 75 miles away from the distillery. Their rum is distilled using 100% organic dark molasses from the Louisiana Delta. We know all about that Louisiana Delta. Sugars, not quite the same, but the agaves are from 100% organic Blue Weber agave from Jalisco, Mexico. The world where bigger is always considered better, they have opted into following a different path. Each and every one of their products are carefully crafted with an attention to detail often lacking in the production. Their products produced by major brands today. Ooh, shots fired. They're wearing their Arthur Fist today, too. They have high standards at Western Reserve Distiller. And if they aren't happy with what they're tasting, it's not going to go into the bottle or a barrel. They believe taste makes a difference. So
I like their mantra behind how they do business. It's very similar to how we do our coffee business. We want the highest quality, small batch. The one thing they said about the big time producers is, so say for instance, you get a bottle of Jim Beam. It's going to taste the same every time you drink from a bottle of Jim Beam. It's because they blend it and they make a refined product that's the same every time. That's what people usually want. With smaller batch items, not just spirits, but any kind of smaller batch item, you're going to get different flavors potentially from every barrel. Sometimes in the bunkhouses where they age bourbon, perhaps one barrel gets more sunlight on it than another one. That can affect the flavor. Humidity can do that. If it snows harder one summer than it did another summer, it's not going to snow in the summer. What am I talking about? Winter. that can all affect it too. So it is kind of crazy to think about, but that is sometimes why if you get small batch bourbons or pretty much small batch anything, it could taste a little bit different from time to time just because, you're also dealing with agricultural products. Those change every single year, every harvest. And I think it's one of my favorite parts about small batches is because there's going to be different nuanced flavors potentially in every batch.
Yeah. That is the best part about small batch is the difference in between each batch. Not too much, obviously, but enough to keep you very entertained palate-wise. One thing I've noticed about this distiller is they have a lot of products. They got Blanco agave spirit or Pasado agave spirit, the regular organic bourbon, handcrafted small batch bourbon, 8-year single barrel, 10-year barrel proof bourbon, 14-year family reserve, 15-year barrel proof straight bourbon, small batch Kentucky straight bourbon, handcrafted organic gin, premium gin, silver rum, vodka, premium vodka, whiskey, rye, all of them. They're doing a good amount of stuff. Their bottles are unique. It's like a cannonball.
Yeah.
It's got a bee on
Or
there.
like a potion flask.
Oh, yep. Yes. And there's a bee as their logo. Chad was really
Fixated on the bee. He's not understanding it.
Yeah, he was really confused on why there was a bee on the logo. He thought they put honey in bourbon. I don't believe that's what they did, but
So one curious question I have is, it says it's an organic, go back up to the top.
yeah.
Agave spirit. I'm wondering if potentially there's a way they create it that doesn't, because it's made outside of Mexico.
Because once it's made outside of Mexico, it can't be called tequila.
That right there just makes sense because I was wondering why they called it an agave spirit when it's a tequila, but that's right there, not made in Mexico, so they can't call it tequila. You learn something new every day.
Boom. That is great to know. That's kind of, I always thought that was the same with bourbon. You said that's not exactly the...
No, bourbon does not need to be distilled in Kentucky to be considered bourbon. It's just it's an old wives' tale.
What about Scotch?
I believe Scotch, to be called Scotch, has to be made in Scotland.
Okay. So kind of like champagne.
Correct, yes.
Champagne, for y'all that don't know, is used with grapes from the Champagne province of France.
Yep. And if it's not made from the grapes from Champagne, it cannot be champagne. It will be sparkling wine. Much also like cognac. Cognac is made from grapes that were in the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's brandy.
What about Champagne, Illinois?
Well, they just pulled off upstate yesterday in Happy Valley. 9 overtimes.
That is true. All right, let's get to the tasting. Let's see if Mullet Boy can taste what they are selling. Let's see if it gets a stamp of approval. Pulling the cork. Not the quite pop like you get from a champagne. Ooh, this smells.
Smells good.
Very good, yes. Remember, this is a 14-year, 90 proof, 45 ABV. And it is award-winning. I have a question, though, Jack. How many years ago was 2014?
Well, let's see. 4 plus 6 is 10, makes 2020.
Yeah.
So that's 7 years ago?
7 years ago. So how are we drinking a 14-year-old bourbon from a business that's been open for 7 years?
Well, one thing new distilleries often do is they will white label a spirit that is very similar to the bill that they want to produce. And so, for instance, this needed to be aged 14 years. They were only open 7 years ago. So they sourced a bourbon that is similar to what they want to make. And that's theirs now. And so
potentially they did that. I mean, that would make sense.
It's commonplace to get to, because obviously bourbon has to be aged. I believe it's at least 3 years to actually be bourbon, but any whiskey to turn this color needs to be aged in oak barrels. So when they're getting started, in order to make some money selling commercially, you have to source whiskey from somewhere. So they get a whiskey or a spirit that is very similar to theirs, and they white label it.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know knowledge. All right, let's start with the nose. What do you smell? Excellency.
You said it's 45. It's 90 proof.
90 proof, 45 ABV. Pretty standard, really.
Yeah, it's a. Definitely smell it. It's hard to describe. A little bit boozy to me. A little hot. That's what I'm calling it. It's a little hot on the nose. It's good. It's just a.
What kind of aromatics you picking up?
I'm getting a little bit of a little char. I feel like I'm getting a little bit like, caramely, maybe like a burnt caramel.
Burnt caramel.
Yeah.
Okay. A little char, maybe some soft oak.
Well, yeah. it was aged in oak barrels, yeah. So, and they're fired oak barrels, which would make sense why they're charred.
I'm honestly really excited to taste this, considering what the palate is.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it charred caramel, soft oak, if you will. Yeah.
All right.
I am really excited to try this. It's a beautiful amber color. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but
it's very red.
Yeah. Which it's going to be a little bit darker because it is aged longer in the barrel, so more of the color comes from that.
I don't think I've ever had. Wait, how old was the Jeffersons? Just one.
They don't say. The ocean that we tried.
Yeah.
It is aged in the. I mean, it's on the boat for less than a year. It goes around the world. But off the top of my head, I don't recall what the year was. This may be the oldest bourbon I've tasted.
I think Scotch. The oldest one we've tasted was a 14-year or 18-year from.
I think we tasted an 18 Macallan.
Crash. And then the one that Mom and Dad got us was another.
It was an 18.
Yeah.
The Glengoyne.
Yep.
It was an 18.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. One of the favorite alcohols I've ever had.
I want to do one of those on here. All right, let's go ahead and let's cheers it up.
Well, I can see why there's won an award.
Yeah.
It's remarkably smooth.
It is a little hot.
It is a little hot.
So for all of you out there listening and watching, I do have the notes that the distiller has given on what it should smell, taste, and finish like.
I have not seen them.
Jack has not seen them. I'm trying to figure out if he can get what they're putting down. In what I'm looking at and what I'm tasting, very interesting. Just wait. You'll see what I'm talking about here shortly. All right, on the palate. So we got palate and finish left. On the palate, that first initial taste, what do you taste it?
I am getting, now that I've tasted it, the aroma, I'm getting a little bit more of a honey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not revealing just yet. Holding my cards.
Definitely getting oak now. It's a woody, definitely a wood flavor. A little bit of vanilla, I want to say. Probably not the caramel aroma I was tasting.
On the you're saying on the taste you got the
on
vanilla?
The taste, I'm getting a little bit of a vanilla.
Okay. Interesting. This is honestly these the bourbon profiles are interesting because they're Yeah, they're
You would think they wouldn't be all that different, right? Because it's like, okay, you're getting something that's mostly corn, putting it into oak barrels, so it's going to taste kind of woody, charry because they're in charred oak barrels. It's been aged for 14 years. Most bourbons or whiskeys, you get vanilla-y caramel from the sugars in the corn.
Mm-hmm.
Bourbons in general, since they're at least 51% corn, are going to be on the sweeter side than like a rye, because sometimes ryes can be spicy.
Okay. Anything else on the palate? And then if you want to go into the finish. Which, thinking about it, bourbon really does have a long-lasting finish.
It does. I get that woody taste all the way through the finish. Like, it's still on my palate. Yeah, I'm gonna go with vanilla. Those are the two main ones I'm getting out of this.
All right, you ready to hear the nose, palate, and finish?
I am. I'm probably wrong.
Kind of. Not too far. It's very interesting. So on the nose, the soft oak, the woody that you're smelling, check. You said caramely. They say brown sugar and vanilla.
Okay,
pretty close.
Yeah,
and then they
molasses even maybe because brown sugar is made with molasses. So yeah, that's.
And then they snuck in the fig. There's some fig in there, I guess.
Huh.
On the nose.
On the nose, yeah, I guess I can get that. It's kind of a raisiny, a raisiny dried fruit for me.
All right, on the palate, the beginning flavors.
Tobacco even. It reminds me of long cut tobacco.
Okay. On the palate, this one, I don't think you were ever going to get. The woody, you definitely got the woody. Yeah. I don't think you said molasses, right? No, on that one. You said
no,
vanilla.
I said vanilla.
Which is molasses-y.
Yeah, kind of.
Which is why I was saying this is very difficult because...
Well, like I said, I mean, I did say it was kind of charred.
Yeah.
So, like, there's that. Molasses is, by definition, kind of burnt.
Yeah. And then like, vanilla-y and brown sugary, like, those are all, like, very similar.
Close.
They had... So, I'm going backwards here just because I'm waiting for the finish here. Woody, molasses, cloves, a little bit of cloves. I could taste that. And then the next two, chocolate and banana. On the palate.
Banana.
Yeah, that's what I kind of smell banana on the nose.
But is that, or did we just inception ourselves to the banana because it says banana? So now our minds are like, oh yeah, you smell banana. You're right.
I don't know. I can see it. I cannot see it as well. The finish, which I think is pretty spot on.
I don't get bananas.
And he eats bananas.
I love bananas, and I don't get bananas.
7 all banana diet. This guy,
yeah, founder. About to go back on it.
So the finish is spice, pepper, smoky, balanced, smooth, and approachable. I would say that is spot on.
Yeah. It is a little bit spicier than a lot of bourbons that I have tried. Not upset with it though. To me, it's an appropriate amount of spice to finish it off with.
Like I said, it's approachable and balanced.
It evens out the sweetness I believe you get at the beginning of that sugar, the molasses, and then it transitions into wood and then spice.
This is your quintessential sipping straight or on the rocks, I guess. Bourbon. It's flavorful. It packs a punch. It's smooth. It's got a little bit of that hot breath that Jackson talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's 90 proof, so that, 45% alcohol. That's it's not quite like barrel proof, which barrel proof is a little bit higher. Traditionally, it's over 100 proof. I think almost all the ones that I've seen are over 100 proof. They're real hot. This is. I mean, it's at 90. It's approaching it. It's on the middle to upper. ABV, I would say.
Yeah. But this is, it hits like, I'm still tasting it. I haven't had a sip in a while.
Yeah, it lingers a lot. Lingers, man.
And it's nice. It's a great, just let me drink this real nice, slow.
Sitting in front of fire. Yeah. Hear the crackling. The smoke from the fire, you're getting the smoke char from the bourbon.
Maybe it's a nice fall morning. Evening. Fall evening. sunset,
to judge?
maybe. Yeah, like Jack said, a fire.
Got your favorite flannel on.
Got your favorite flannel
Roasting
on.
some weenies on the fire.
Got the mullet looking crisp.
Hey.
Gold chain, white Vans, black jeans.
It's a vibe.
Just sitting there
it's just a
chilling,
vibe, you know?
sitting back. So this is excellent. It definitely. So it won silver at the Spirit Cup, I think World Spirit Cup, in 2021. So this year, very, very excellent.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Got silver.
I would say it's on the top 5 list of bourbons I've ever tried, I would say.
Dialing.
Yeah. It's a very good bourbon. I don't know if I'm qualified to say whether or not it's worth $100. I don't know. It's really good. Am I going to be going out and buying a bottle of this for my everyday drinker? No. But it'd be a nice bottle to have in your bar at home. It'd be an excellent present to give someone. They would not be disappointed. If you know a bourbon lover or whiskey lover, they would love this.
I mean, with the holidays coming up,
Western Reserve
out of Ohio. I'm assuming it's getting your stamp of approval.
Yes, it is getting my stamp of approval. This is a bourbon I will drink again. I would suggest to you, if you have the means to try it. It is delicious. I'd put it right up there with the Forecast from Ironfish that we've tasted.
Yeah.
Some of the Jeffersons Jefferson's is my favorite bourbon. It's right up there with them. So it's good. It's delicious. Very approachable. Like I said, it's not going to be something that's too overpowering that you're not going to be able to handle. It's approachable. It's good.
And it's got a depth of flavor. So it's essentially what I'm assuming you're paying for is the depth,
the complexity of the spirit.
The journey your taste buds are going to go on.
Because I definitely, I don't know if I can nail it down to fig, but it smells raisiny, which is probably fig.
Sweet. So that is your evening cup for this evening.
Delicious,
as Jack says. Gets the stamp of approval. Boom. Western Reserve Distillers, 14-year
silver
family reserve,
silver award winner at the Spirit Cup. If you can, try it out. Get your hands on some. I'm sure the rest of their spirits are delicious. I can't wait to try some of those. And I think that's going to be all for today.
That's going to be it. Thanks for stopping in. Like, subscribe, share.
Take it easy.